What's going on, everyone? Scott here. Welcome back to the channel. So, Michigan State travels to Boston College in Chestnut Hill at 8 p.m. on Saturday on ACC Network for a big-time matchup to close out the non-conference slate this season for Michigan State. It is Boston College's red bandana game as well. So, as Coach Smith said, it'd be really cool for him and the players to be a part of that. And it's such a cool tradition there that they do every year, their themed jerseys and honoring him. It's really great. If you don't know about the game, go ahead and look it up. There's some videos on it, or just read about it as well. Really cool thing that Boston College does every year. So we're going to go over the game recap, what to watch out for from Boston College as they've started the year really well, and from Michigan State, what do we want to see in this game, plus our week 4 college football bets. But first, if you could, hit that like and subscribe button for more Michigan State content going forward. Now, Boston College is off to, as we mentioned, an excellent start. 2-1, beat Florida State to start the year on the road at Florida State. Even though Florida State hasn't looked as good, but they look dominant in that game. Really multiple on offense, and then beat up on Duquesne in their second game before taking Mizzou to the end last week. Before Mizzou, obviously top 10 Mizzou, was able to pull that out at home. Really, it starts with their quarterback, and he's the guy that jumps off the screen when you're watching them. Thomas Castellanos going to create some problems. True dual threat quarterback out of the backfield can create some problems on the ground, in the pocket, outside of the pocket, and through the air. Rushed for 97 yards total on the season and a touchdown, while throwing for 9 as well, while only having 2 interceptions as well. Also a big key for Boston College goes with Thomas Castellanos. As we've mentioned, he is good and dynamic on the ground running the ball. But 2 of their running backs as well, Treshaun Ward and Kyle Robichaud, run the ball effectively on the ground as well. Lewis Bond is their most heavily targeted guy through the air, only guy with 10 targets or more this season through the air. And defensively for Boston College, 3 interceptions and 5 sacks on the year, only giving up 13 points per game on defense. Now on the ground, as we mentioned, about their dynamic rushing attack, they average 5 yards per carry on the ground, while their defense only gives up 2.8. I think that leads into one of the big keys for this game, which is going to be who's going to be able to run the ball and who's going to be able to stop the run. Both these teams have been able to run the ball effectively on the ground, for the most part for MSU, but for Boston College as well. Statistically been able to run the ball well on offense, and they've both been able to stop the run on the ground as well. Obviously 2.8 on defense for Boston College, and MSU only giving up 2.2 on the ground this year. So I think that's the first key. Who's going to win the line of scrimmage on offense and who's going to be able to stop that run on defense. I think the second key to this game is on Aiden Childs. We've obviously seen the really good from him this year, the incredible long balls, being able to move out of the pocket and make plays. Then we've also seen some overthrows, some bad interceptions, which he's still young. He's still young, but that type of stuff in a game like this against a good Boston College team on the road in a tough night game environment, that's the kind of stuff that will lose you this game. And then kind of the last point for MSU is that offensive line going to be able to hold up. Obviously, we know been quite a bit of long-term injuries on that offensive line, especially at that right guard spot. What's that going to look like as we're now a couple games into the season? You should have, some more cohesion. As we mentioned, they've been good in pass protection, need to be more consistent in run blocking, but how's that group going to hold up with, unfortunately, Gavin Brocious now going down for the year, so now you're down 2 right guards for the season. So that, and then obviously on the defensive side for Michigan State, seeing some of the guys that have, put in new spots due to some injuries to Dylan Tatum, Lil Majid, other spots as well. Chance Rucker going down for a majority of the season as well. So to see those guys stepping up, big game on the road, I'm excited to see that as well. But I think this is going to be a really interesting game. I think this is going to be one of the best games of the college football slate this weekend. Obviously, there's a handful of good games, and this isn't even just a bias MSU thing. I think this is a really interesting game. 2 new coaches and new programs here that are kind of trying to build back up to something. I think it's a really intriguing game for non-Michigan State and Boston College fans as well. I'm excited to see how the guys respond this weekend in Chestnut Hill. But let's move into our Week 4 college football bets. First off, always got to start out with our game. I got Michigan State alternate spread at Boston College, plus 4.5 at plus 108. Next up, USC alternate spread at Michigan, minus 6.5, plus 104. It's going to be a really good game. Obviously, Michigan still has a good defense. think it's going to be a close game, but I think USC still wins by at least a touchdown. Then Utah money line at Oklahoma State. Got that at plus 122. Utah, obviously my favorite to win the Big 12 as well. Big time game here at plus money too. I really like that. Then lastly, Baylor money line at Colorado plus 105. You can't get me to touch any Colorado stock whatsoever, so got that at plus 105. Put that all together, that is plus 1831. $5 win you 91.55. Went 2 for 4 last week again, so 9-16 on the season overall. Hoping to get back on a better track this week. Let's get over 500 and let's keep, inching back forward. But that'll do it for this one. We'll be back after the game this weekend to discuss and recap everything that happened. But that'll do it for this one. Thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Peace out.